Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Pat's Travel Pass. We're taking a little detour on Amtrak today, the California Zephyr, train number 6, Amtrak's most beautiful route. Come join us. Today we are reviewing the Roomette on Amtrak's train number 6, the California Zephyr, starting here in Emeryville, just north of Oakland, and we'll be heading east towards Chicago, but we're actually going to hop off in Denver, trying to hit that most beautiful section of Amtrak's best route. Here we got some train spotting with the Capital Corridor here from Sacramento, dropping off a bunch of people, and the Coast Starlight from Seattle to LA here parked on track number 1. Our train did start about 30 minutes delayed due to all the traffic here this morning. With our train pulling in from the yard and the Coast Starlight pulling out, we found a cool moment of two trains going at each other. Give it a listen.
Train number 6, California Zephyr. Train number 6, California Zephyr, traveling for Chicago is here at the station, now boarding on track 2.
Car 632 will be our home for the next 2 days here on the Superliner 2 upper deck in room 6. Now we'll talk about the layout of the rooms and which ones to avoid and which ones to find, but right now we're headed out of the station and it's time to get excited. As I mentioned before, scheduled departure was 8:25 a.m. here Saturday morning, so a little late, but we headed up the Bay Coast here as we made our way towards Davis and Sacramento with the eventual destination of Denver. Let's take a closer look at the train itself. We have 1 and 2 as engines, 3 as baggage, 4, 5, and 6 as sleeper cars, which we are in. Number 7 is the dining car, which is included in our ticket, 8 the observation car, and 9 and 10 for coach, a 10-car train. Now here's a look at the Superliner 2, the sleeper rooms. We have the bedrooms A through E on the left in tan, and then the roomettes in light blue 1 to 14. With a family bedroom on the bottom in green. You definitely want to be on the top deck here as that's the way you go in between carriages. So any room between 1 and 10 on the roomettes is what you'll want to look for. And then in terms of even or odd, I like to be on the left side of the train going towards Chicago. I find that has the best views, especially as you head into Reno. However, we've been on trains where the even and the odd side has been on the left, so you really just can't tell. Amtrak has allowed me to switch rooms, so if you have a feeling of which one is going to be on the left side, feel free to change. I would also recommend not being 1, 2, 9, or 10, as these are close to where traffic is occurring. When I say traffic, I mean people. So anything from 3 to 8 is kind of where you want to be. It's nice and quiet. And you won't get any loud noises of people going in between cars. Now here's a look at a bedroom. Those are the letters A to E. Up on the top deck, you get a private ensuite bathroom, shower, sink, as well as a little bit more space here, about twice the space as a roomette. Here's us walking past all of the bedrooms. It's a pretty tight squeeze, honestly, and when the train's rocking and rolling, you definitely can get pushed side to side. Now here we are going down the stairs to all the restrooms. There is one up on the top deck, but 3 restrooms down here per sleeper car, plus the shower room, which is a communal shower room for this carriage. Here we are looking at the family bedroom, along with some of the lower level roomettes. Back up the staircase to where we just came down, and to the right are the roomettes 1 through 10, which is where we're staying. Complimentary coffee from 6 to 11 a.m. every morning, along with cream and sugar, as you please. Coffee was pretty good, honestly. Plenty of water bottles always stocked, and some tissues, which I really appreciated. Here's a quick look at our roomette. I'm going to go more in detail a little bit later, but recently reupholstered seats here facing each other. You have a curtain, tray table, and then the top bunk that flips down, and the bottom bunk is created from the 2 beds. But yeah, pretty much everything you need. In order to recline the bed, your car attendant who stays in room 1 will help you turn down the bed, but if you want to do it yourself, you can always push that lever. And then you can see here there's a closet that you can hang some coats in. They do provide hangers, which is a nice touch. I don't know anyone that's bringing a hanger on a train. A couple shelves here on the right, as well as the curtain here on both sides, which is pretty nice for privacy if you just don't want to hear anyone passing by or look at your partner across the way. Some mints that are provided. This is kind of new. I've never gotten that on previous Amtrak trains. They also have curtains here on the window side, but they're a little funky, pushing into the corner. You kind of have to really snug them behind your seat. But now we just arrived into Sacramento, and it's almost time for lunch. When booked into a bedroom or roomette, all of your traditional dining meals are included: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For us, we were able to get lunch and dinner on the first day, along with breakfast, lunch, and dinner the following day on our way to Denver. If you are in coach, you do not get these included, but you can pay a fee for them. I'll have the menus right here if you want to take a closer look. But otherwise, here we are, lunch, day 1. Amtrak has a few different options here, including a patty melt burger, vegetarian burger, chili, and a chicken Caesar salad. So you got a little bit of everything here. Free soft drink of your choice. They also had unsweetened iced tea, coffee, as well as water. I went with the patty melt. Haven't had it on any Amtrak ride before, so I thought I'd give it a try. It was okay, I'd say. Basically a hamburger in place of a grilled cheese. Here's a look at the actual burger that my wife got. Looked way better. You had all the toppings on the side that you could add on as you please. You also got a choice of dessert, a butter cake or a brownie. Now this brownie was awesome. Nice touch during lunch. And as we made our way north towards Lake Tahoe and Reno, we began to see snow. So we headed on over to the observation car, which is open to both coach and sleeper car passengers. Now it is first come, first serve, and this being Amtrak's best route, it becomes quite competitive to get these seats that face out towards the window, as well as the tables that are farther down the car.
All right, everyone. Now let's look at the room here on Amtrak's Superliner. You enter through the door over here on the left. You have 2 large, recently upholstered seats. They used to have this old blue leather that was really outdated. New kind of Delta cross stitching here that looks really nice. Look at those views right there. But anyways, we have a light, a call button, as well as your room light. Over here we have another light, your one outlet for the entire room, It's pretty loose, so I would bring a 3-prong if you have it, and then your central heating and cooling. We also have a tray table, which comes out, makeshift checker and chessboard. When we entered, each person had a water bottle, menu, safety card. We also have the top bunk here, which swings down, and then a towel, some mints, trash, closet, and our pillows are up above along with the sheets. Air and lights above, but you kind of have everything that you need. Nothing too fancy, but it gets the job done.
Climbing up from sea level up to over a mile high as we hit Donner Lake and up towards Reno is just absolutely gorgeous here in February. Completely caked with snow all over. Saw a few ski resorts with skiers active, and we finally made it to Truckee, one of the cutest little towns north of Lake Tahoe. Now here is Reno, and a look at our 2 engines and our crew finally changing out. They went all the way from Emeryville to Reno with a change now until Salt Lake City. This also is a fresh air break of about 10 minutes. Now the sun began to set and we prepared for dinner. First off though, a happy hour. There is a cafe car underneath the observation level. Wine and beer is $7.50 each, with cocktails about $8.50. Not too bad, I'd say. When you think about paying $7.50 for a beer, it kind of seems steep, but for some reason it felt reasonable while on a moving train. Started working on this video as we watched the sunset and enjoyed some of the views. Now dinner is my favorite meal on Amtrak's long haul routes. A 3-course dinner including an appetizer, main, and dessert. White tablecloth and a rose on your table. It's awesome. Free alcoholic beverage of choice. We have a ginger and jack here. Appetizer options, shrimp tempura with a sweet and hot sauce or a house salad. And then of course the Amtrak's famous flat iron steak, cooked to order, medium rare, mashed potatoes, vegetables, and a bread roll. It was absolutely perfect while moving at 80 miles an hour towards Denver. 2 dessert options, blueberry cheesecake or a chocolate spoon cake. Both were excellent, and might I remind you, this is all included in your roomette or bedroom fare. A little easier to film here when nobody's in, but down the stairs to the cafe car where they have plenty of snacks and drinks. You have the observation chairs facing outward and then 8 tables for anyone to first come, first serve. Now our room attendant turned down our beds, 2 bunks, one on top of the other. Now it may look kind of spacious, it is not. It is a pretty tight squeeze, and whoever's on the top bunk is going to get a little bit less width than the bottom bunk. Lucky me though, I'm on top. They also give these little Hershey Kisses, which is new. Little net here to put all your belongings in, a pillow and a blanket. Now here's a look of me on top. I strap myself in with this little lock here so you don't tip over while the train's moving. Now we are on the 2nd story and at the very top of our room, so we do feel the movement the most here, so it can be difficult to sleep. The bottom bunk is definitely the preferred. But good morning from Utah. Gorgeous sunset here. Grabbed that complimentary coffee that started at 6 a.m. and brought my book. and just looked out at the sights while taking it in, listening to some music as well. It was actually one of the favorite parts of when we took this train a few years ago, and it still is my favorite part of this trip. Just watching the sunrise, going through some quiet towns. Here is a look at the shower room. This is in each sleeper car. It's for about 30 people if at max occupancy. They do provide soap and towels. No shampoo though. And unfortunately, people do like to leave their soap after they use it. But water gets warm pretty quickly. They have a seat in there. I actually thought it was a pretty good gig for on the rails. Use your towel, you put it in the bag, and you change back in, and that's it. Now here's a look at the bathroom. Pretty much all your standard amenities. I will say brushing your teeth is very difficult as you don't have enough space to actually spit into the sink. So that's one thing that became quite difficult. Now here we are moving into Colorado as we move east and we start our climb through the Rockies, stopping at Grand Junction. Some awesome wall art here. I always love when cities have a little bit of spunk at their stations. But yes, we made the slow climb through the Rockies and we had no idea what was coming. Here we are with lunch again. I will say I did not get any breakfast footage as we were seated with another couple. Basically, it's first come, first served, but you will be seated with strangers and you'll have to chat with them and be cordial. This train was very particular of filling up every table before giving a person or two people their own table. So I would be ready to conversate, get to know someone. Your other option is to order your food to your room. That is available for lunch and dinner. I haven't heard of it being done for breakfast, but you can do that if you're not looking to socialize. Now here we are at lunch, back with the couple that we were traveling with, so all is well to film. Here's the butter cake, which was the other dessert option. I also got the chili, which I already showed. Still pretty good options, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's my favorite meal. And we keep going east towards the Rockies. The best day of any Amtrak ride. Here we come. So generally this is not a cheap route to book, but because we were delayed on a previous Amtrak, we each had a voucher of $150, and Amtrak was doing a flash buy one get one free sale. So all in all, we paid $427 for a roomette for Emeryville to Denver, 2 people, all food included and transportation. Pretty comparable to when you account for flights as well as food and actually some sightseeing piece to it. I thought it was pretty sweet. Here's our sister train, the California Zephyr number 5. You can try and count the cars, but she also has 10 in total, the same kind of layout as what we have as we head east and she heads west. So this is where Amtrak really comes through with expectations. A rock slide has occurred in front of us that has broken track, brought down power lines, and has a pile of rubble that is unmovable by our conductor and engineers. This now ensued to an 8-hour delay alone on top of the hour and a half we were already delayed. So what's the only option is to get a steak cooked to order back-to-back nights in the middle of the gorgeous Rocky Mountains. Same appetizers as before, salad and shrimp tempura. Went with the salad tonight just to spice it up, as well as a Jack and Coke, free alcoholic beverage with each dinner meal, and a different cut of steak. But man, does it look just as good, and boy, was it just as good. Wife got the salmon here. Pretty good for a train meal. The other options were chicken or a pasta. I asked for medium rare. Honestly, pretty happy with what I got. So unfortunately, one thing that comes with being stuck in the middle of nowhere is that Amtrak's engineers and conductors time out after 12 hours, and anything beyond that is a $100,000 fine per person. So eventually Amtrak and Union Pacific, who owns the railroad, called and said, hey, we'd like you to backtrack all the way to Glenwood Springs. That's where the amusement park was, 3 hours in reverse. So that's what we started to do, and eventually we got into a sighting where a new conductor and engineering team got on board. Union Pacific cleared the track, rebuilt it, and we were able to proceed forward after an 8-hour delay. Now, we were asleep by the time we actually got moving, but this put us as an ETA of 3 a.m. into Denver. Here's another look at the bed situation. Bottom bunk, definitely preferred here. Much wider, a little bit closer to the ground, especially if that's a concern for you. Not too bad on the comfortability scale. I will say it's not the greatest. Blanket, though, that they provide, a little thin, but they also provide you a sheet to get under. I generally ran a little bit hot on this train, so ended up not needing anything extra. Pillow was pretty thin, so I had to use jackets and sweatshirts to supplement. Now here we are, finally in Denver at 3:30 a.m., a solid 9 hours after our estimated 6:30 p.m. arrival. Now we knew this was coming, we just felt it in our gut. So we actually booked a flight the night prior that we had our family cancel, and then we had a flight at 6 a.m. this morning to get back to the Bay Area. So I would always recommend never booking something the same day with Amtrak because you will be late. Thanks for joining, everybody. We'll see you next time.